Hi guys, my name is Genius Chifupa, the co-founder of Podmyth. I have noticed more than 95% of people who watched our first episode are not subscribed. And can you please do me a favor if you are watching this? Just hit the subscribe button and I will do anything in my power to make this podcast a success. We'll bring you insightful discussions where we continue to demystify some medical myths. Medical myths demystified.
30 years ago, disease causes were roughly classified or categorized into two groups, cancer and heart attacks. But recently, a third one has emerged, antimicrobial resistance, also known as AMR. Kadambudziko aka katongouya and karavaja the whole society. And I think it's a conversation important and worth having. So guys, why do you think it's important for us to have this conversation?
According to Fleming Initiative, a London-based AMR research program, they found out that by 2050, the leading cause of death will be antimicrobial resistance. So, yatooma msora.
Okay.
Tukuma msoro.
Tukuma msora. Apo wataura this a word, antimicrobial resistance.
Yeah.
Chimbori chicho. What is
So,
antimicrobial
resistance, or AMR as most people know it, let's just break down the word. So we've got things what we call my microbes or my organism, to my bacteria, my fungi, my virus, right? So when we say antimicrobial resistance, we're just basically saying this is when these organisms that cause infectious diseases no longer respond to the effects of the medicines that we use to treat them. So yeah, that is antimicrobial resistance.
Okay. So medicines atinoshandisa kutreata zvirwere izvi anonzi machini.
We call them antibiotics.
Antibiotics.
Akasiyana, tine antibiotics, tine antiviral, tine antifungal. Zvongosiyana kuti what are we treating?
All right. So, but now we're mainly talking about antibiotics and
antibiotics.
So how do these antibiotics work?
So my antibiotics, put it simple, these are just the drugs that we use to kill these zvipukanana.
Okay.
So it's either they destroy it or they limit its growth. That's two ways it can touch that.
No. Okay. That's interesting. Saka basically tikutaura kuti tuzvipukanana utu twatotuma superbugs anditi hatuchaanzwe chirwere.
I think there's a shorter word for that. Zanini.
Okay. Yeah. Because on a more serious note, there's actually a term known as superbugs, and we are basically living in this era.
The rise of the superbugs.
That's a fantastic name. We can actually title this podcast "The Rise of the Superbugs."
The rise of superbugs.
Okay. So these superbugs that are resistant to my antibiotics and so how does this resistance arise?
So the resistance is ukarowa mwana usingapedzisi and it naso wamupa shamu 2 when you are supposed to get 5 mwana yanoguma ngoti mama avarovi. So it's usually people they go on a course or they are given a regimen to take for a certain time. Suppose they are going to take an amoxicillin course for 2 weeks, then about day 10 of got and I with a boy then they leave that regimen. Then over wara foot and it because asiri ramamwe asina kuraiwa those bacteria asina kuraiwa. Then also atanga foot maybe it's now day 21 but I can go pedzise 4 ngasara. Then they finish the course. Once got time later, agrowara food. So people have a tendency yekusiya my drugs and it was not the full course. The other thing is people are with a self-prescription. People, they are now saying, walking to a pharmacy, otongosvika kuti ha ndipewo maamoxicillin
andisingatsonzwa mushi.
Or pari kumaramara.
pari kupisa. So yeah, I think that is one of the leading cause of this AMR resistance, especially in African setups.
All right. All right. So, I mean, tons way, Papa, but there has to be like some sort of history. Zvakambobva kupi zveresistance izvozvozvo, and chikurezistwa chacho ma-antibiotics acho ambori up. I think the most common one is penicillin, and
Yeah, penicillin suffered the most.
Suffers the most, and I think penicillin has a rich history.
Yeah, very big history.
Can we just a glimpse?
Let's dive.
Let's dive into it. Mukomana nye kudive out.
This time is not the pelvic region.
Okay.
So if we go back into history, right, the history of penicillin, we can give credit to a man we call Alexander Fleming.
Yeah.
This guy actually discovered penicillin by mistake. He had gone on a holiday, then he left. So what this guy used to do, he used to create art using fungi. Like fungi have got different colors, so he used to create art using fungi.
Oh.
Then he left his petri dish waiting for the fungi to grow, then the colors, what. So at that time, he came back from the holiday. Then to his surprise, there are certain areas on the petri dish, right, which were preventing a certain bacteria which we call Staphylococcus aureus from growing. Then he was like, he was intrigued.
Yeah, it is interesting.
What is this maybe molecule that is preventing the bacteria from growing in that area? So he dug a little bit deeper, then he discovered penicillin. Then he used one who actually named it penicillin, right? Okay. Fast forward. Penicillin is now the miracle drug. It's working. It's treating a lot of diseases. But during those times, if you're infected by a minor infection, people would die because there was nothing to treat them.
All right.
Now we have penicillin. It's saving lives.
Saving lives. Yeah.
Especially people dying from TB. It's fine. But the problem now is that with TB is, requires a long regimen. Some of them can even extend to 2 years, and you're supposed to be on check.
You have to check them consistently.
You should over every day. People are taking the penicillin. Now I don't go 6 months down the line. Manje. Anavamisa manje. Watu wanadula genius. Anavamira. Akufila bo. Osia. Bacteria but you have given me a chance.
It's actually
It's probably what people does with praying.
The only prayer yakuenda yesadza
Exactly.
ikatouya itori bonus futi kutongorova takaenda. Okay, that's interesting because the tataura yeresistance yechika, but hapana here like specific diseases zvirwere zvinozikanwa nevanhu zvekuti izvozvozvo vanhu ndizvo zvinoshanda, I mean zvinotreatwa nema-antibiotics, because I mean I don't think flu, you don't treat flu using antibiotics.
I can safely say, or we can safely say, gonorrhea resistant is now dangerous than HIV/AIDS.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
There is now a new variant that is resistant to antibiotics.
Gonorrhea is much more dangerous. I mean, we should cut that. Gonorrhea is
because if you go back, penicillin used to treat gonorrhea like that. Gonorrhea penicillin, what
miracle.
But it's a miracle. But people they're not sticking to the regimen. So now we've got a resistant variant of gonorrhea, and so rake round.
That's crazy.
The also other cause is, for the love of money, our pharmacists are not doing a good job to our people,
They're not doing diligence.
to our healthcare system. People can now just walk into a pharmacy and the pharmacist can just prescribe. He prescribing, not the doctor prescribing, can now just prescribe an antibiotic. But according to Medical Control Authority of Zimbabwe, MCAS, you are only given an antibiotic
With a prescription.
when you have a prescription. But just for the love of money, I think pharmacists are business people.
Yeah, I mean, and also it's fun. Yeah, it's crazy because sometimes unotoona munhu akamira pa counter paper achivati chiremba, and I'm like, I don't know, man. I'm not throwing shade in the pharmacy, but guys,
But that's where it starts from.
you're not doctors,
Those
okay?
small things.
Pharmacists are not doctors. That's just to everyone. Pharmacists are not doctors. Yes, they know about the drugs, but in terms of writing a prescription, I don't think.
I think pharmacists are just good at understanding doctors' handwriting.
Like a relationship.
A good relation.
He said it. Okay. That's not coming from me. That's not coming from me. Okay. I get it. I get it. So, this society we are living in, because we've already established kuti tunini twatu. So we are living in a post antimicrobial resistant situation. This era auto resistance. So what do you think we need to do? What steps need to be taken to curb this problem?
I think the very biggest thing that is causing this AMR, especially in an African setup, is people thinking antibiotics treat flu, influenza. Influenza is a viral infection.
Yeah.
And we are talking antibiotics are a cure to bacterial infections. Yes, of course, there are other infections like pneumonia or that can present with flu-like symptoms, but not all flu-like symptoms should be treated, and are flu, and should be treated with antibiotics. But people have just a tendency that, kanzwadziwa, take some amoxicillin, and munhu atotora amoxicillin. But uri kuuraya virus, not a bacteria. So I think there is need of sort of awareness.
Yeah, awareness
That
campaigns.
antibiotics are not a cure. They are not a cure all. People just feel like it's pain is. It's different from pain is. It's not paracetamol. Yekuti ukatemwa nemusoro mudumbu mukarwadza, you can just go. Ndosaka uchiona okay. You never find
Yeah, you won't find amoxicillin.
amoxicillin.
Yeah, it's not over the counter.
I don't think we should be talking about okay right now. Let's talk about bone marché and stuff. You're not finding anything more okay. But I digress.
Yeah.
But I get your point. I get your point.
The reason why it is in our shops, my retail shops, my tuck shops, but in a tuck shop you can just walk in, utobudani pain is yako, and you don't even need a prescription for that, unless it is of bigger potency, anacocodamol, etc. But you will never find amoxicillin in a shelf, unless it's a pharmacy shelf.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Okay. Do you have anything to add?
Yeah, we can just go back to just basic personal hygiene. Most of these microbes, we find them everywhere. Even this table, if you take a swab, you'll find out that you'll be mesmerized. So basic personal hygiene.
I think people were supposed to have just a kuona kuti microbiology dzinoita sei.
Awa, chifana kuita fana ngoti munhu table yango clean kana yango pukuta nemene chijira chine chemvura ichi chingoti damp head, and you swab it and see what you'll be shocked.
It's crazy. Sometimes it's even worse if you just leave the petri dish open.
Even worse, if you take your palms, right, you put them on a slide.
Yeah.
They actually claim that your phone has 10 times X than the toilet seat. The number of bacteria.
I know what he's talking about. I know what you're talking about. Your phone is nasty. Don't leak your phone, guys.
Take their phones everywhere. That's the other problem.
Yes, everywhere. Even in the toilet.
That's the problem. That's why you pick those bacteria.
So maybe you forget, but take home message. Don't be leaking your phone and kissing your phone, okay? These devices are contaminated. Not only these devices, but just your surroundings. A lot is going on. So personal hygiene is quite important. It's quite important. Now that's great, guys. That's great, guys. So, do you have any final thoughts?
The final thoughts.
Or maybe those were our final thoughts.
One thing I can encourage is that we should do more awareness campaigns. Already we do have awareness campaigns, but I think the government should pitch in, because to be honest, gone are the days where people would say, if I get cancer, then my life is over. Yeah, it's possible, but as my cancer, this is my cancers. I wonder we can treat them, we can manage them. You can actually live a long life, but the problem now is AMR. AMR is going to be a problem in the future.
If we don't nip it in the bud.
It will be a problem in the future.
I think we need just to imagine a situation where urugurwara with anything and you are taking drugs, but they are no longer working. Yes, they are suggesting the use of probiotics and much more potent drugs. Even who had classified antibiotics into 3. There was access, the one you can just get. Then there was the smart that you can get, but it's of a bigger potency. Then there were the ones that were reserved
Prescriptions.
for options for in the case that you have developed the AMR. Because in the case for especially people who are on HIV and AIDS, they sometimes develop some resistance, etc. Those are the ones that need those reserved drugs for them. But just imagine a situation where everyone has to have those drugs. One, they are not accessible. I think they're
quite
even expensive to produce. And even the scientific researches that needs to be done on them, they are really extensive. Just imagine that situation, how many are going to die. If we think Shura Matongo, Yakamborea one, Emara will do it better.
Do a better job.
Seems like this guy is doing a promo for him.
Actually, this is some type of awareness campaign.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. People need to be careful. People need to be careful. I am talking to you guys. People need to be careful. Because these things are a menace.
You find that good. Well, to add on to his point, antibiotics, it's a virus, not just say antimicrobials. They are gaining resistance faster than we can make the drugs.
Exactly.
So that becomes a problem.
Yeah.
Nice magads are 2 drugs. Tomorrow, 5 microbes are now resistant.
Exactly. Are now resistant.
So imagine.
So it's a chase.
And we're losing the chase. They're taking the lead.
I don't have anything to add, guys. Okay, we are all in this battle. But it's important to curb this problem. Take care of yourselves. Giza maoko ukarwara usangomhanya utongonoti aiwa inini ndikuziya pills rofana kushanda. See a medical professional. Those guys, they know what they're doing. Anokuudza mapills ekushandisa, anokuudza, anokunyorera prescription, unopiwa the actual drug that you need to use. Because izvi zvikaramba zvichiitika izvi guys, we will all die. We will create a scene near the Walking Dead. Zombies. People will die. We don't want those problems.
I think just like what we did on HIV and AIDS, people responded very well to the awareness campaigns. And according to UNAIDS, I was reading a Health Times article recently, and they said we have even surpassed the 95 state that we're supposed to. We have.
Wow.
Some are 96, it's now 96, 97, and 99. 96% know their status, 97% are on ART, and 99% are under viral suppression. Which means you can now cast a stone and it will not hit someone with HIV, with AIDS. HIV, of course. So AIDS is now something rare to find in Zimbabwe. So simply what we did on HIV and AIDS, let us just do it on MMR.
Mimic the same thing.
The least thing you can do is to, soon after watching this video, share it with a friend.
Subscribe.
Share it with a friend. Because that's the thing. You now know, but your mom doesn't. And the mind or doctor wemumba. Mwana wako yachikozora anorapwa na mai. That's it.
She they can record them. Home pharmacist. Both pharmacists and the doctor.
The other thing inoitika kumamisha. Do you know kuti wabereki wedu they instruct their children who work in the towns machi kuti kana makuya mutunziro mapirizi.
Just wait,
mapirizi and just kurwara but just bring pills.
Just bring them.
And it odi sugar.
Odi
mapirizi such that anogara angori nepeki whether the drug is going to expire best before ichasvika.
Problem. I think my rural areas are a big problem. It's a big problem because a lot of people they just have a stockpile of medication.
Exactly.
Ndawasina kupedza.
Mini pharmacy.
unoona mumba mekuti mune
Mini pharmacy. Yotika akangorwa nekafuriji tika atomuziva kuti ari kutora chii.
first born yemumba inenge yakamashandisa ka last born inongomashandisa aripere guchura mama
Then akazonoti achaitozopiwa huku.
It's recycling at its maximum. Recycling at its maximum. Anyway, I think that's it, guys.
That's it.
Yeah.
I would say the take-home message is that whenever you experience maybe flu-like symptoms, don't rush to just take anything. First, visit your doctor and maybe visit a pharmacist. I think for pharmacists, they have to be more, cautious. Visit your doctor, then your doctor will tell you, "Aywa, panapa vatete, magaro wanechi, nika bacteria. Mungoneka maybe you've got a laryngitis, you've got a throat infection,
Gonorrhea.
gonorrhea. I wanna viral. Maybe uneka influenza. Chitorachi ma antiviral, ma influenza. Chitora ma antiviral. Kana yaka bacteria, otorochi ma antibiotics.
And I think the other thing is the few times that antibiotics were prescribed for flu-like symptoms, and those few times chiremba pawakakupa amoxicillin for a flu-like symptoms, we take it as amoxicillin is a cure to flu. Are you getting it? Those few times, maybe the sore throat, waikosora, it wasn't an influenza virus, but just because wakapiwa ukanopora, you didn't take it as amoxicillin is a cure or it's indeed
a miracle
cure.
drug.
Yeah. So the take-home message from me is no antibiotics for flu and common cold.
That's a solid message. That's a solid message. It's funny. So I'm going to say Romango. Bongo started 95. I was having this conversation with my friends. Kumba.
Okay.
Then one of our the question I got, guys, ne paswika AIDS is yezvapapa. Ni economy and everything. Iwo msikana wako yo waugurara naye kana kuya. Chichaungatya. AIDS kana numbu. Mavese akataiwa AIDS tasolva kana.
That one is a done deal.
I think that was before the withdrawal of pepper.
But now people have more questions. But yeah, it shows you that we have done a very spectacular job with HIV. I think we should implement the same mechanisms, the same awareness, the same everything
I
to
think it's
AMR.
just on AMR we are not wearing condoms.
There's nothing like that.
Okay. I guess I think we need to wrap this up. Okay. I think we need to wrap this up.
My name is Genius Chifupa.
I am Tembani.
I'm Tafadzo Sean Dede.
So we'll see you on the next episode, guys. Peace.